Actual woodworking. My great uncle was a radio woodworker in the 1930s, which may have, you'd think it'd be difficult, right? You'd say, well gosh, because I get to show how to do stuff. And say, here's how to do these dovetails, here's how to do such and such. They had to do it on the radio, because there was no television in the 1930s. But they found out it was actually easier. They discovered they actually didn't have to build a thing. They just did the sound effects. And so every Wednesday at noon, people would tune in to the National Farm and Home Hour for Grandpa Sam's Wood Shop of the Air. Let's see what Grandpa's making in that little wood shop down in the corner. And he'd come to, hey, Grandpa, what you making today? I'm working on that Chippendale Highboy we started last week. Let's try carving that eagle. Oh, that eagle looks so good. He's about to take off and grab him a chicken. Look at that. All right. Those dovetails are so tight they pull you right. So they just did this, just did sound effects, and people loved it. They tuned in, crazy, because it's wonderful. They thought, oh, what's Grandpa Sam going to make now? Boy, he's the best. Well,
he's a great chef.
So I have one thing.
Everything fit perfectly.
He left. I couldn't bring his axe, but I have his axe. It's very much like this. So I inherited my great uncle's axe and a couple of pieces. This is one that he made out of, and this is quite a bit of, so it's broken on the end there, the pliers, but how many pieces of wood is that?
One.
Yeah. So that's one piece of wood.
You know what it's like now.
It is. So that's one piece of wood, the chain and the working pliers. There's another pair of pliers that unfortunately is broken.
That's ridiculous.
And the ball and cage, it's like a Welsh love spoon, isn't it, in the old tradition here. This was just wonderful to have for me to get from the family. It was even more wonderful, I had the axe that he used, this axe that he used to make it with. Because you don't, there's no snakes in Ireland, right? No. Are there snakes in Britain?
Yeah.
Two.
You have poison snakes? Do you have poison snakes? What do they have? They have the jaw, do they have fangs and they bite you?
Yeah.
All right, you see, in my part of the country we have hoop snakes. They do not have, they have no fangs. They're poison snakes. They have no fangs, they have no teeth at all. They're toothless snakes. And the way they work it, they have actually a stinger in their tail instead of a fangs to bite you with. And the way they hunt, they're called hoop snakes because they get up in the hills and they'll slither up the rough bark of a white oak or something, and they'll get up there and look down with their little snaky eyes, looking as they're on that side of the tree watching for some passing mammalian prey down in the bottom of the hill. And when they see it, they cast themselves forward and they grab their tail in their mouth. This is what the hoop snake does. See how it's in the form of a hoop, hence the name hoop snake. And it rolls down the hill, bouncing off of rocks, carrying off of trees, bouncing off, picking up speed until it straightens out with that deadly stinger foremost and stings you. Now what that venom does is, of course, it causes you to now swell, because the hoop snake has no teeth, but what that venom does is it causes you to start swelling and swell bigger and bigger until you're the size of a school bus lying on the side of the hill while the hoop snake gums you to death. Horrible way to go. And what happened to my uncle, he was on the side of the hill cutting some sapling, and he saw the hoop snake rolling down the hill after him. And he started to take off down the hill, which is a fatal mistake in any case. But fortunately, he slipped on a wet spot he had just created, and he pulled down a sapling to keep his balance. And it was that little, instead of him, as this hoop snake straightened out to sting him, instead of going into him, it went boing into the little tiny sapling. And so it's the sapling that took the little 1-inch tree there, took the venom. And it was that started to swell. So that swelled up bigger and bigger and softer until it was the size of a school bus lying on the side of the hill. And at which time my great uncle looked at it and said, well, that's a fortuitous thing. What I'll do is I'll lay out a design on it. So he got his string, he snapped his lines, and he started working in that soft wood, chopping away, chopping out the chain, chopping out the balls in the cage. chopping it all out until he got back about sunset when the swelling started to go down and down and down until it turned into what you see right before you. And your eyes don't lie. There it is. So it was a wonderful thing he got to do back in those days. He had a few other things. Here's one. There's another one of his ball in the cage. Another pair of pliers, multiple pliers. Again, out of one piece of wood. And this I like. He made this. This is a Russian folk toy. You know this one? Because they always had stories with them. The blacksmith and the bear. The blacksmith and the bear. Blacksmith with his hammer and the bear with his mallet. What happened was, this tells the story, the blacksmith went out to the forest to get some sticks for his fire, for industry, so he could convert nature into culture, melt iron and smelt and have factory make things. And he was picking up these sticks and the bear came out and said, hey, don't take that, that's nature, that's where I live. I live in unmolested nature. I need this for my home. And the blacksmith said, no, I must have the sticks for industry. And the bear said, no, nature is where I live. Blacksmith said, I must have progress. They said, well, we shall have a contest. I will pound with my mallet and I will pound with my hammer and we shall match each other and see who wears out first. And so they started pounding their contest to see who would own the resources of the forest. Pounding and pounding away, pounding all through the evening as the sun set, all through the night, flagging only as the sun started to rise the next day. Tired they were indeed, but still matching each other blow for blow. The contest yet undecided until through the sunset of the next day they were so tired, barely able to match each other blow for blow, but still keeping up one with the other until they both collapsed on the ground. And the bear stood up and said to the blacksmith, you know, this is stupid. Why are we fighting each other? And the blacksmith said, yes, you're right. Why should we fight each other? For it's the hegemony of the capitalists who are driving us out into the forest. Oh, sorry, wrong story. These are the kind of things. That's why he went off the air. It was a tough one. There you go. Well, I'd like to conclude my talk with some slides of my work, if you don't mind. If you take there's one, pass that around. No, never mind. All right. All right, that's it. That's American woodworking at its worst. All right.